Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Capital City Sports Network, where tonight, from the Athens Ford Arena in Athens, Georgia, the American Collegiate Hockey Association and the Southeastern Collegiate Hockey Conference are proud to present the South Carolina Gamecocks and the Georgia Ice Dogs. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. So glad to be with us. Arguably the biggest game of the season here tonight from Athens. The Gamecocks, for the first time in program history, ranked number 1 in the ACHA South. Their opponents, the Ice Dogs of Georgia, ranked number 4. Also the reigning SECHC champions from 2019. Remember, the Gamecocks got bounced from that tournament in the first round back in February in Nashville. So as we have Military Appreciation Night tonight here from the Athens Ford Arena. We'll get a little bit into that more, the Athens Ford Arena at the Classic Center. It's an interesting situation, one of the more notable rinks the Gamecocks find themselves in over the course of this season. But aside from that, aside from the rankings, lots of things going on here. A game that both clubs will have circled on their calendars. Every time had a chance to speak with head coach of the Dogs, Rick Emmett, a former East Coast Hockey League player, played some time against Alan Sirloff frequently in the early 2000s. Again, as we have some recognition here, ceremonial puck drop, some veterans out there on the ice. ACHA Commissioner, D3 Commissioner, Sarge Kenny Day is on hand for this one. He was just recognized on the video board just a few moments ago, and singing the national anthem was, just before we came onto this broadcast, Army Reserve Captain Ted Camp. So Military Appreciation Night, the second such night the Gamecocks find themselves in. Again, if you'll remember, just a few weeks ago against the Mountaineers of App State, the Gamecocks had their own Military Appreciation Night, and they would go on to win that game with a score of 12-3. So we'll see if that continues here for South Carolina. We'll turn our attention to the starting goaltenders between the pipes for South Carolina. Alan Sirwa elects to go with Liam Gormley out of Willotson Park, New York. 5-0-1 in 6 appearances this season. A .910 save percentage, 2.31 goals against average, 1 shutout through 363 minutes. Across the ice from him, Owen Spreadbury, 1-4-0, 842 save percentage, 485 goals against average. Typical starter for the Dogs, Brady Mulligan, played last night in an OT thriller. The Dogs ended up falling 5-4 in the extra frame to the Owls of Kennesaw State. So that brings their record on the season to 9-4-2. Those 2 losses came in overtime. To compare that to last season, again, a championship season for the Ice Dogs, 21-3-0 in 18-19. So a bit of a turnaround here. They lost some notable players, and most notable among them, of course, you'll remember, he wears number 27, or he wore number 27, and he terrorized South Carolina as well as the rest of the SEC throughout his time in Georgia. Carter Penzian, 40 goals, 34 assists, and 74 points through 22 games played last season. Only played 1 game where he didn't score a goal, and he still managed to get an assist in that one. So he scored a point in every game he played. He had 19 multi-point games. And with him also left Christopher Santa Maria, a 30-goal scorer in all 4 seasons at the University of Georgia. 31 goals, 27 assists for 58 points through 24 games last season. Those 2 players together averaged 5.7 points per game for Georgia. 5.7 points per game from 2 players. You can count on that every night. So without those guys in the lineup, the attention shifts further down the bench to younger brother Caleb Santa Maria out of Decatur, Georgia. 11 goals, 9 assists for 20 points so far through 11 games this season. He leads the charge offensively for the Dogs. And for South Carolina, Julian Reese stays in the lineup here. 17 goals, 8 assists, 25 points for the rookie out of Manhattan. The Gamecocks look to rally around him. It's a bit of a scary moment in the game against Virginia Tech. Reese went down with an apparent injury, but he finished the game and he ended up playing some of the game against Wake Forest. The Gamecocks really needed those points on the road after a thrilling tie against the Hokies of Virginia Tech. So on the season, with that number 1 record, or number 1 ranking rather, for South Carolina, comes an 11-1-1 record, the best in program history. And they look to build on that tonight. One of the final 2 games of the fall semester for South Carolina. They will start with Joe Collega, Duncan Hickman on the back end, and then it is gray line, Mike Bolger on the left, Julian Reese at center, and Luke Woodman at right wing for South Carolina. And for the Dogs, they go with Aaron Phillips, Chris Koreskis, Cameron Campbell, Seth Johnson, and of course at right wing, Jack Ryan, the senior out of Sewanee, Georgia, to start things off here. And as we said, Owen Spreadbury between the pipes for the Dogs. Players gathering at the center ice face-off. Georgia in a fantastic set of military appreciation uniforms, digital camouflage, black and red throughout. The Gamecocks in their traveling garnet uniforms. The puck is down. We are underway. It goes into the Dogs zone here, and then quickly cleared all the way back out. It rolls down to the left of Liam Gormley. Duncan Hickman touches this one. Icing waved off, and Hickman gets immediately crunched into the glass. The puck played in behind the Gamecocks. That's South Carolina moving right to left to start this first period. Now this puck bouncing all the way back out in open ice off the shaft of Mike Bolger's stick. Played this one out off the dash into neutral territory, where the Dogs take over. Racing back is Caleb Santamaria. He did not start the game. He's on the ice now. Julian Reese and Luke Woodman have some trouble with it as they enter the Dogs zone. It goes back down low to Reese, and now picking this one up is going to be Luke Woodman. Now below from the goal line there. A sharp angle shot comes all the way back out to the point. Hickman kicks this one all the way back down for Luke Woodman. Rotating back down for Bolger. Sends this one towards the slot. It's broken up here. Back come the Dogs. And now closed off there by Duncan Hickman. 19 minutes exactly. 1 minute into this first period. Hickman at the end of a long shift here. This puck dumped all the way back down. Icing waved off. The Dogs will restart. No clear opportunities so far in this one for either club. On the ice now for South Carolina is Owen Thomas. He sends a man into the boards there, battling for the puck in behind the Georgia net. Chipped out and around. It's come and slapped back for Nick Peters, who holds it into the line, rags it back into the slot area. The Dogs take this one away to center ice. Flat back in there by Owen Thomas. A slow roller. Forechecking is Cam Mecca. Puck shoveled back out. Backhanded down by Owen Thomas down low to the goal line. Taken out of the backhand there by Kyle Harris, the junior out of Cumming, Georgia. Back to his feet, Cam Mecca after taking a hit. Harris picks this puck up again, sidesteps Owen Thomas, tries to exit the zone rather. Georgia has some trouble. Zach Washington can't get this one all the way back out. Now he does. Off the stick of Tyler Oakley. He will break this puck out for South Carolina. Over the red line, a backhander out to the far side. Owen Thomas, who's been on for a long shift. Now, sharp angle shot there. Kicked out and a stick save by Spreadbury, his first of the round. Corey Hawkinson on now. Picks up the Georgia blue line. It bounces off his stick. Now almost an odd man rush back for Georgia. The Gamecocks break this one up, and colliding with Bob Lawrence is Corey Hawkinson. Both men pick themselves up off the ice. Evan Hoey goes down in the far side corner there. Battling forward there with Seth Johnson. Hoey, now finally a sharp angle shot by Johnson. Never gets to the net. Taken out by Evan Hoey down the right side. He'll headman this one to Ian Powderly. Offside will be called there. Powderly tried to hand that puck over to Rob Lawrence. A little overexcited there. And so with 17:27 to go in the first period, the scoreless first period that we will have a neutral zone face-off coming up. Just like to take a moment there to apologize if we had the audio levels were too high. I believe in the beginning of working with the new transmitter here from the laptop, so I apologize for that. We're ironing out the bugs on that one, but it should sound okay now. As this puck dumped back down all the way to the right, in behind the net of Liam Gormley. Jack Ryan on the ice now for Georgia, in behind the South Carolina net. He'll backhand this one up too far for Ian Powderly. He'll take a shoulder. The puck does drip all the way back out to neutral territory. Taken now by Powderly. He'll race ahead with Corey Hawkinson. Lost the puck in the line there, skating on now. Rob Lawrence backhands this one back down low. Taken by Corey Hawkinson. 10 games this season, 7 goals and 8 assists. The offensive leaders for South Carolina, solid second line center. Battling forward there, top of the hash marks, and too far for Powderly. Hickman goes D-to-D back for Collega. Point shot there, knocked down in front. Taken back out, Collega holds this one in. Chips it, and now back to the come the Dogs. A 3-on-1 would have been developing there, though, at the end of the shift. And now the Dogs still come far side, wide on Duncan Hickman. A sharp angle shot there. Gormley makes the save. He kicks it out with the left pad. Over to deny Jackson Cax on that one. Now bringing it back the other way is Alex Siegfried for South Carolina. Into the far side corner. Takes a man into the boards. That allows Matt Owen to regain control. Back out to the point there. A shot goes wide. Off the stick of Tyler Oakley. Duncan Hickman been on for a long time here. 16-11 to go. A scoreless first period. Here from the Classic Center in Athens. Far side boards there. Oakley shot gets knocked down in front of follow-up chance sent wide by Chad Lazine. He returns to the lineup for the first time in a handful of games here. The puck rolls all the way back into South Carolina territory. Icing has been waved off. They play around to the far side and Chad Lazine drops this one off for Matt Owen. Tries to sidestep one of the Dogs, can't do it. They pick the puck off and bring it back in. Facing pressure there from Tyler Oakley. Chad Lazine gets the loose puck. All the way around near side at the hash marks for South Carolina. Bolger, the stretch pass across the ice for Lazine. Lazine finally catches up to that puck along the far side half wall in the Georgia zone. Taken quickly back the other way. Here come the Dogs against Tyler Oakley. Tries to sidestep on the backhand there. Takes it right around in front. He scores! Chris Korestes, the defenseman, hops up on the rush. Goes around Liam Gormley. The Dogs are out to a 1-0 lead here early in the first period. Line change there for Georgia. They took advantage of some tired Gamecocks on the ice. Went right around Tyler Oakley, right around Liam Gormley as well. So the Dogs on the board first. We knew it would be a team here with 15-18 to go. We knew it would be a team with a bad taste in their mouth, some frustration, and out for blood here again as the Dogs were taken down in overtime by the Owls of Kennesaw State last night. Chris Korestes actually 29 years old, if you can believe that. He's a grad student here at the University of Georgia. Played for Montclair State D2 all the way back in 2011. He's come back to school here. But a fixture on this Georgia team is a shot there right off the draw. Is smothered there right into the breadbasket of Spreadbury. So a face-off will come up here. Offensive zone for South Carolina. They get some fresh bodies on the ice. 15:06 to go in the first period. As we speak about the Classic Center, it is a convention center here in the heart of Athens, Georgia, that they put an ice sheet down for every so often, every couple of weeks, and the Dogs have to schedule their games around when the rink's going to be up. Now a 2-on-1 back the other way for Georgia, finally broken up there by Julian Reese on the back check. So Ryan for Georgia has it back out to the point in the offensive zone. They'll send this one wide. It goes off the boards, where it can be taken by Duncan Hickman, flipped back out to the right side. Shut down there by the Dogs. It comes back to Hickman, stepping up the red line, and now batted back in by Julian Reese. Dogs take over Jack Ryan in behind his own net. They'll double back there with Aaron Phillips. Try to regroup. The puck leaks back out to Hickman at the point, far side. Lets one go through traffic. Spreadbury there with the stick to make the save. So Hickman regathers here at center ice. Joe Collega swings back into the South Carolina zone. Luke Rudman's line back on it. Collega gets close. Usually he's the one dealing those hits. This time he receives. And so the Dogs try to go D-to-D here. Stepping up is Tyler Oakley to try and intercept that one. He does get it at the Georgia blue line. On with him now is Mike Bolger. Pulls up, gets sent down, and the Dogs move this one out. Back out to the neutral zone. Back out this puck chip all the way back past the stick of Nick Peters. He'll go in behind the South Carolina net. And then a bit of an awkward play. Try to go back to Tyler Oakley. Liam Gormley has to swipe at that one with the paddle of the stick. The Dogs keep it in the zone there after the attempted clear by Oakley, and picked off by Ronan Egan. On the right wing, Ronan Egan, team leader in assists with 13 of them. He chips it in for Cam Mecca, the South Carolina captain. He's underneath the goal line there, Mecca. And now Egan hard on a man there. Owen Thomas makes a hit. A little far from play here, so the player's a bit smaller than they normally would be. From our vantage point up here in the broadcast booth, Cam Mecca swings out the far side and takes along the goal line, goes back down there, and a wraparound chance goes right through the crease. A1 opportunity there for the Gamecock captain, and it goes wide. Still in the zone, Ryan McGowan gets taken down up against the boards. He'll move this one back down low, and now finally too far for McGowan. The Dogs take this one ahead, and now a breakout pass. They gather speed. Matt Bigda down the far side, boxed out there. A solid defensive play by Mecca. He goes over to Nick Peters in his own zone, who doubles back. Let's get away there. Finally, forechecking Korestes. Now chipped up in the head for Corey Hawkinson. Feathered back in by Georgia. Regroup on Nick Peters to Rob Lawrence. At the red line, Lawrence gets sent into the boards there by Chris Korestes again. In the South Carolina offensive zone here. A long shot by Evan Hoey, sticked out by the Georgia goaltender. Ian Powderman on the back end has it in the slot to the point, and Hoey, a shot there goes wide. It bounces. Now back the other way come the Dogs again. They'll chip this one in. Some of them go for a line change, and icing will be called here. First one in quite some time. 12:15 to go in the first period. The Dogs up to a 1-0 lead thanks to the goal from Chris Korestes, his 7th goal of the season. So we take a look inside the matchup here. We had a bit of a shorter pregame show due to just the way the planning of all the festivities for Military Appreciation Night were laid out. The Gamecocks are 0-8 against the University of Georgia, in hockey anyway, since 2014. The last time the Gamecocks beat the Dogs, October 19th of that year. And during that time, Alan Siwa was not yet the head coach of South Carolina. Julian Reese was in 8th grade up in Manhattan. And All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor was number 1 on the Billboard Top 100. So things are quite different now from when they were back in 2014, the last time the Gamecocks beat the Dogs. It was a 6-1 win at home on a Sunday morning. So on the road here, on a Friday night, the Gamecocks look to turn their fortunes as this puck has just been bouncing around the neutral zone for the last little while. Finally, the Dogs get it into the offensive zone. Chad Lazine puts it off the dasher. It takes a hit, but he got the puck up to Corey Hawkinson. He will send a backhander up for Mike Bolger down the right side in the offensive zone. Bumped off the puck there by Matt Bigda, the freshman. 11 freshmen on this Georgia team. And now Duncan Hickman sends this one from the point back down low, cross ice, picked up by Joe Collega from the blue line. Now they'll send a skipper on net. They'll try to move this one into the slot. Too far for Chad Lazine. Takes a run at a man, and the puck drifts all the way back down for Collega. Collega from the Gamecock zone. D-to-D, Duncan Hickman picked off, though. Back the other way come the Dogs. Near side, nice move to the back end. Follow-up chance there. Knocked down in front by Joe Collega. Almost a 2-on-1. Jackson Katz had a brilliant opportunity. Collega cut off the cross-ice pass. So they come along the near sideboards. From the Gamecock net, Julian Reese back the other way. Gets bodied there. Collides with an official. Loses the puck. The Dogs try to move this one up and ahead through the neutral zone. Sent back in. Nick Peters back to get it here. Icing waved off yet again. Peters content to just wrap this one around for Bolger. Headmans it to Julian Reese. Cross ice there for Chad Lazine. He overskated the puck. Will have to go around to the far sideboards. Now takes it down the right wing. The left-handed shot pulls up. Sends this one back. A point shot there knocked down in front. Now on the rebound is Peters there. Sends one blocked in front. But Peters down below the goal line. Back on defense tonight is Nick Peters, native of Niagara Falls area up in New York. Now taken down there is Tyler Oakley as this puck bounces all the way back up. Julian Reese takes over from the red line. A bit of an extended shift here. Reese tries to sidestep a couple of Georgia defenders. Instead, the puck goes down, and Reese sends a man down there. A delayed penalty. And they will get him for what appear to be a hold. No cross-check. They've given both signals. So Julian Reese will sit 9:50 to go here in the first period. South Carolina finds itself short-handed for the first time tonight. A 1-0 hockey game. So 2 more minutes to Julian Reese. 10 minutes on the season in the short-handed unit for South Carolina. Evan Hoey, Ronan Egan, Cam Mecca, and Duncan Hickman as well. And a slow start so far in this one. The Gamecocks face off to the left-hand side of the ball. They'll drop it. The Dogs win this one back. Center point there on the cross. Quick shot there. Kick the puck on the rebound. Oh, it goes off the outside of the cage. Brilliant follow-up opportunity there. The Dogs couldn't tuck it home. Austin Krusko had that look. Now Ryan back out center point. Dogs send one there. Tipped on its way. They glanced off the side of Evan Hoey. But now it's Krusko again. Away from Nick Peters, sent back down low. He gets the puck to Ryan, center point again. They go on the cross. Now one-time shot, knocked down in front again. Evan Hoey, now Ronan Egan, shorthanded for South Carolina. They play this one up. Now it's Cam Mecca down the left side. They'll allow for some of the Gamecocks to go to the line, go to the bench rather for a line change. 9:10 to go in the first. A minute 19 on the penalty to Julian Reese. Couldn't hear the PA announcer's official call, so Reese in the box for an undisclosed minor. Back come the Dogs again on the power play here. Back down low. They'll move it back towards the point there, intended for Cameron Campbell. Instead they go sharp angle shot, they score on the tap-in! Centering pass straight front. Jackson Katz finds, it looked like Seth Johnson tucked that puck home. The Dogs up to a 2-0 lead here in the first period. A power play goal, and Georgia has doubled up here. .48 to go here in the first. Off the neutral zone face-off. Gamecocks haven't found themselves in a 2-0 deficit. I believe at any point this season, they're close to Virginia Tech the whole way. Offsides is Chad Lazine. He gets sent down. So Johnson gets the goal. That's what we were listening for. Katz on the assist. And Austin Crusto. Johnson, the junior, his third of the season for his 11th game. There may have been a point, actually, the Gamecocks went down 2-0, as I try to remember all the way back, 2-0 to Clemson, the season opener. And since then, seldomly have they surrendered the first goal. And 2-0 lead for the opposition at any point has been all but unheard of this season. So the Dogs have this one in their own zone. It's taken at the point there off the interception by Nick Peters. They'll slap it back down low. And now the Ice Dogs come back the other way. They'll send it back in behind Gormley's net. Back to get it, Nick Peters. First to the puck there. Sharp angle shot. Gormley makes the save. Knocked down, moved away there. Caleb Santa Maria. And now we have a stoppage in play. Santa Maria sends that one towards the net after the fact. Stoppage in play is for net offense Morris. Only slightly, I'm not sure how the officials actually even caught that one. Doesn't look any different from up here. When it's off, it's off. 7:55 to go in the first period, 2-0. Georgia leads South Carolina through the early goings of this one. Julian Reese to take the defensive zone face-off. They'll win that one forward, and Mike Bolger tries to skate that one up in the head. He redirected it into the South Carolina bench. The officials didn't know it at first. One of the Gamecocks tried to throw the puck back to Mike Bolger, which of course he can't do, so play stops. Face-off will come all the way back down again in South Carolina zone. Left to Liam Gormley. So off the draw, able to win this one over there. Colin Burke, he sends that one back up. It's intercepted by Carestes, though. Knocked down and pinballs in the slot there for South Carolina. Now Colin Burke crunches there with Carestes, and the puck comes back out to the point now. Down low, rotating, and now picking this one up. They'll go cross ice. That big descends one from a sharp angle into the slot there. After Dasser, back out to the point. Quick shot knocked down in front. The bouncing puck swept out there by Mike Bolger. He's got a step, headed back the other direction. Mike Bolger, fans on the puck there. Now sent all the way back down by the Dogs and behind Gormley's net. Now wrapping it around is Colin Burke. Up now, it's going to have a chance. Julian Reese down the right side, a shot. That one goes wide. All the way around the Gamecocks in the midst of a change. At the red line, Evan Hoey tries to run a man over against the puck as well. Let's move back in as we pass the 7-minute mark in the first period. Duncan Hickman gets hit, loses the puck. Almost a chance right around in front. Gormley may have had to make a dangerous save there. Trying to get back up to his feet now is Evan Hoey. The puck back out at the point, and Ronan Egan strips a man of control, but nice. Trying to get back to the puck there. Cameron Campbell recovers from his mistake. He denies Ronan Egan, an odd man rush back the other way. Gamecocks looking a little flat-footed to start this one again. Georgia fueled by rage in the early stages of this game. Losing a game that they thought they had in the bank. Now back to the way. Sharp angle shot there. Gormley shrugs that one off. Flipped on goal by Seth Johnson. Now the rebound taken back up. Ronan Egan down the left side. Content to just dump this one back in, but Egan plays forechecker. Gets in, kind of loses an edge, goes awkwardly into the boards, but pops right back up to his feet. As the puck swings around to the near side past Nick Peters. The Dogs try to body Nick Peters off the puck. He's able to drift it back now. Owen Thomas takes things from the South Carolina zone. Backpedaling now sends it on for Cam Mecca. Cross ice off one of the Dogs. It goes all the way down for icing, however. Mecca will dispute it. 5:52 to go in the first. Face-off comes all the way back down to the South Carolina zone. Our vantage point from the broadcast booth in this one, a bit of an odd one, in essentially a broom closet here. A little balcony no wider than 5 feet. A shot there redirected to the Gamecock goal mouth. The funniest part about it is we're in this left wing corner for South Carolina, up over the left shoulder of Liam Gormley. So a bit of a different viewpoint here. Jackson Katz now battles for it with Nick Peters. Working underneath now, it's Caleb Santa Maria, taken to the boards by Collega. Peters rather, now they scrum for it and move the puck on now for Cam Mecca. Sends one ahead. Owen Thomas catches up to that puck in the offensive zone. Mecca wins that one. His one-timer shut down there, but the puck leaks back into the slot. Owen Thomas sends it backhand into the net. Cam Mecca taken down, diving and pushes the puck free there. But the Dogs intercept, they'll move this one back now, kick it up to the stick of Nick Peters, and that puck intercepted the blue line. Peters playing with a broken stick, he had to drop it. That's why that puck was turned over. Santa Maria takes that one wide, shovels it off the outside of the cage. Got a stoppage in play here. 4:59 to go. Dogs still up 2-0. So Nick Peters' luck with sticks continues to be pretty poor. They'll get a replacement from the bench. He's actually playing with Sirwal's old sticks. Cut down the Gamecock head coach, a little taller than the sophomore Nick Peters. So defensive zone draw. Georgia wins it, and they'll go D to D. Showing some swagger with that puck. A point shot knocked down in front. Follow-up chance. Gormley kicks it out with the left pad. A brilliant save. His best so far tonight. Now Cam Mecca gives one of the Dogs a rough ride. Matt Bigda collects himself after that hit. So Owen Thomas tries to stretch a pass out there for Cam Mecca. It goes too far. So the Gamecocks will just go for a line change instead. The Dogs try to chip this one back. Joe Collega underneath the South Carolina net to pick this one up. Go over for Rob Morris. No turnover though. Georgia in the zone on the back end. Caresty sends that one too far wide. Past the glove hand of Gormley. Out of the point now, knocked down on its way. Gamecocks on their heels throughout this entire first period. As this puck cleared up and into the crowd by Joe Collega. The fans seem to get out of the way of that one, fortunately. 4:15 to go in the first. Still 2-0 Georgia. The netting wraps around to about the hash marks in either zone. There's no side netting. The seats are right there up against the glass. Gotta be on your toes if you're going to be a fan here at the Classic Center. Off the defensive zone draw, the Gamecocks just push it forward. So Georgia will have to come all the way back to their own side of the rink to pick this one back up. Now Corey Hawkinson on the forecheck creates a turnover, gets bodied off the puck in behind the net. That'll send Rob Lawrence and Ian Powderly back down low for support. This puck chipped back out, opened by Joe Collega. Collega battling for it, and he races back to the blue line, taps that one back on for Duncan Hickman, who goes back into South Carolina territory, goes across for Rob Lawrence, and now another regroup for South Carolina. This one bounces up off the boards, and Duncan Hickman fought off for that one. A rolling puck taken back by Lawrence again. Too far past the stick of Corey Hawkinson. Ian Powderly drops down one off as they gain the zone. Hawkinson pulls up at the goal line. Now from the hash marks on his back end, watched closely by two of the Ice Dogs. Move it back down low for Powderly. Hawkinson from the face-off dot, knocked down there, sandwiched really. The Dogs caught a stick up high, play continues. 3:17 to go in this one. 2-0 in favor of the host. As this puck rolls back, Rob Lawrence filling in for McGowan at the point. Shot knocked down off a stick on its way. Now this puck bounces back out. Now Julian Reese fresh on the ice. We've got a slash coming up here to South Carolina. Yes, it looked like Ian Powderly was mixing things up in front of the net. The box door swings open. He's gone back to the bench. We don't have they'll send someone eventually. We'll have to wait and see here. We'll take a look. It is Duncan Hickman occupying the South Carolina box on the same side. It's actually in between the two benches. Typically, in some arenas, the penalty box is on the opposite side of the ice. But in this one, it's bench, penalty box, bench, and so another shorthanded opportunity. The Gamecocks have to kill this one off. So all the way back down. Hickman in the box for a slash. Second of the night. Ice Dogs 1 for 1 on the man advantage. They go back to work in the offensive zone here. It's Jackson Katz along the far side wall. Center point, they'll send it back now for Katz. Walks, goes back to the point. A long shot there off the stick of Nick Peters. Taking that shot was Kyle Harris. So it ricochets all the way up into the netting. For a face-off here. 2:34 to go. Kyle Harris was the model, Georgia posted on social media about their release of these military appreciation jerseys, which they wore last night against Kennesaw State. They will continue to wear as an alternate jersey throughout the rest of the season. Harris was the model of sorts. As this puck flipped out of play on the back end there by Peters. The Dogs went to, I'm not sure which base, they went to an Air Force base in the surrounding area, and they put together a fantastic video, the social media team. It was Kyle Harris showing off the jerseys and Black Hawk helicopters flying all around the back and landing, and they got to show the inside of the helicopter with the jersey. It was just a real solid piece by the Georgia Ice Dogs social media team there. Actually, the interns that work for the Ice Dogs get class credit for the work they do with the hockey team. So now the power play continues here. 1:13 to go on it. They go D to D to shoot that one that goes wide past the blocker of Gorman. All the way back out to the point. Kyle Harris sends this one back down low at the half while the Dogs control. Back underneath, give and go. Katz tries to center that one. As Santa Maria was creeping back down low. It goes back to the point. Shoveled too far for Santa Maria. So behind the goal goes Korestes, and he's bodied there by Tyler Oakley. Oakley gets hit down there by Jackson Katz. Square in the numbers. And a hit from behind. The Ice Dog power play, sending Jackson Katz to the penalty box. So it's 8-4 here. It's like 40 seconds. So the first Georgia penalty on the night. Won't send the Gamecocks to the power play. Hopefully we're just shaking on that. So let's get 4-on-4 here. Four for South Carolina. Nick Peters was getting a ton of ice time here in the first period. Back there with Thomas. We get there and Corey Hawkins. Peters the little left-handed shot for South Carolina. I don't have the shots on goal up on the board, and when I say the board, it's a projector screen in the far corner of the rink. So it's really a nice facility here. It's a little strange. It's just, it's a convention center, so you got a sheet of ice put down on essentially ballroom floor, and you've got bleachers on 3 of the 4 sides of the rink here. Makes for an interesting atmosphere. As now back the other way come the Dogs. That 4-on-4 down the left side. That's a kick save there by Gormley. He's able to deny off the rush there. Jack Ryan, and now cutting in on goal there, knocked down in front. Another opportunity for Seth Johnson. His second goal tonight. Dylan Thomas gets crunched behind the play. Corey Hawkinson brings the puck up through center. Get this one on for Nick Peters, tries to sidestep a man, doesn't work that time. On the breakout, the Dogs have this one, they'll escort this one. Off the bench, perhaps the official. So as the two teams change lines with 57.8 to go here in the first period. The neutral zone face-off. The Gamecocks now on the power play. The penalty, Duncan Hickman has expired. That'll knock Georgia to 1 for 2 on the power play. Ronan Egan steps in to take this face-off. The left wing face-off, circle the Gamecocks. What do they roll back to Joe Collega? Back down to the half wall. Set in front there. Lead wrecked by Ronan Egan goes wide. Creeping down to get the loose puck is McGowan. Can't play the puck back on for Cam Mecca. The Dogs come back the other way short-handed. Down the near side with some speed. They'll send someone across there. A shot goes high and wide. Kyle Harris had that top corner zeroed in. They'll take down Ryan McGowan in behind the play. Back the other way comes South Carolina. On the power play here. Back into the slot. Collega has to move this one away from Cam Mecca. McGowan went to the bench there. That'll bring on Duncan Hickman. Collega plays pitch and catch with Mecca in the near side corner. Back down low for Ronan Egan at the hash marks. Underneath for the captain. Mecca can't hang on to that one. It goes off the heel of the stick. We'll rim this one all the way around far side. Hickman, center point, Collega. Across now for Egan. A turning shot there, blocked on its way. A bouncing puck rolls across the blue line. With 15 to go on the main advantage for South Carolina, but the first period comes to an end before the power play does. So 20 minutes are in the books. The Gamecocks in a turning point kind of game here for their season. Find themselves down 2-0 after the first period. The Dogs came out right before the Gamecocks will have to go to do a little bit of mental regrouping here in the South Carolina locker room. So we'll send you to a break when they come back. More content, intermission analysis, and then the second period here on the Capital City Sports Network, presented by SGTV. Welcome back to the Capital City Sports Network as we are just about ready to start the second period here from the Classic Center in Athens. If you could not be with us for the first of all, welcome to the Capital City Sports Network, but you missed 2 goals from Georgia. Chris Carestes and then Johnson tapped in a power play goal for them. Those are the only 2 scoring opportunities that went in, but the Dogs had a plethora of them. Odd man breaks aplenty. Turnovers at the blue line for South Carolina. Arguably their sloppiest period of hockey so far this season, but they've had some time to regain their thoughts and control of their emotions, and so they will move left to right here as they start this second period. Owen Spreadbury down in the net to our right, Liam Gormley to our left, and in that intermission right before we came back from break, Luke Gamble, head intern here for that UGA media team. This is his last game. He will be graduating at the end of this semester. He was recognized on the ice on the Jumbotron. He was given a custom camouflage Georgia jersey. An emotional night for him. He was wiping away some tears by the end of it, so congratulations to him. And off the center ice faceoff, it comes all the way back to Liam Gormley, but picked up and given off there by Nick Peters. A little collision after the fact there. That puck raffled off the boards there. Taken back ahead in the neutral zone, and Owen Thomas is on this one. Out to the far side, knocked down. He kind of bounces off the boards there. The puck goes in behind Spreadbury, and it's taken around on the near side there. Dished off by Aaron Phillips. A collision with Owen Thomas. Now back the other way off the turnover. Nick Peters sends one to the slot. A chance, and it goes in! They score! Peters to Egan. The Gamecocks cash in there on the board. It is 2-1. A quick start here in the second period. Nick Peters off we talked about it. The turnovers at the blue line were the Achilles heel of South Carolina in the first period. A turnover at the blue line in the second period by Georgia. Peters slides one across for Egan. He didn't even get a clean shot off. He just kind of wiped the stick at the puck, and it went 5-hole on Spreadbury. So the score here, 2-1. And I'm back at the point now. A rising shot there through traffic. The Gamecocks finally have some life here. We don't have the shots for you through the first 20 minutes, but they were pretty lopsided in favor of Georgia. I believe Ronan Egan, or I have it backwards. I believe Nick Peters will get the only assist on the Ronan Egan goal. That remains to be seen, though. Should Nick Peters, well, Nick Peters definitely gets the assist there. That's point number 7 for him through 9 games played, rather. Again, if you'll remember, Peters out with a high ankle sprain through the majority of the month of September. Back on the ice now, back on D. And some notable absences from the Gamecock lineup tonight. You may or may not have noticed Avery Pruden, a healthy scratch. Michael Peake did not travel with the team, neither did Parker West, Noah Maddie, or Hunter Jackal. So off a neutral zone face-off after the stoppage in play, Duncan Hickman gets taken into the boards in behind his own net. He moves on and across to the near side there. A multitude of players will battle for it here. Half of both clubs coming together on the near side boards. Finally, it's picked up by Michelson at the point for Georgia. Risks that one off the leg of Luke Rudman. It's taken there off the high glass by Joe Collega. It hits his stanchion. Awkwardly bounces right into the slot there. Fortunately for South Carolina, it doesn't cost him anything. Now Julian Reese has the puck at the red line. Across to the far side, Bolger. Back for Reese. Going back down low along the goal line. Far side, steps out, shoots one, and Spreadbury makes the save. It careens off the goaltender, back down below the goal line now for Georgia. Johnson takes this one. He's bodied there by Rudman, who also sends down Matt Bigda. And onto the far side now, it's Bolger circling at the blue line. Back down low for Evan Hoey. Some more communication by South Carolina. Now a chance goes wide, right in front of the net off of Julian Reese. Now a turning shot by Gator goes into the boards as well. Follow-up chance. Hoey sends one there. And now it's McGowan towards the net, knocked down on its way, and the Dogs take this one. Michelson stripped of control. That puck sent back in on goal. And finally, Spreadbury able to get a stoppage in play as Julian Reese is crashing the crease looking for a rebound. 17:40 to go here in the second period. Ronan Egan cashes in on a turnover from the blue line to give the Gamecocks their first goal of the hockey game. No love lost between these two clubs. There's some pushing and shoving after that most recent stoppage in play. We talked about the 8-0 run that Georgia's been on against South Carolina after a Dangerous chant there for Rob Lawrence goes to the far side boards. The last time these two teams met, Georgia won 7-3 in Irmo, February the 25th of 2019. Before that, just blowout after blowout. The Dogs have owned the Gamecocks here for the last 5 seasons. And so a close game through at least the first 23 minutes of this one, though typically that's how they start out. So we have another stoppage in here. A line change for Alan Shirwa and his Gamecocks. Head coach of the Ice Dogs is Rick Emmett, longtime minor leaguer, spent time in the East Coast Hockey League, among others, with the Greenville Growl. I do not believe he or Coach Shirwa ever spent time on the same team. As Georgia there, a shot goes high and wide. They played against each other a few times, but the Ice Dogs, as it appears, are on the power play. My apologies, I was a little wrapped up in my dissertation on East Coast Hockey League teams. The Dogs are on the power play. Rob Lawrence is in the penalty box for South Carolina. So Georgia regroups. It's Harris from behind his own net. About 1:30 to go on the Ice Dogs power play. Taken on now by Caleb Santamaria. A little more convenient this year. Don't have to differentiate Caleb from Chris. Now back on the point is Harris. He'll go back down low off the sideboards there. Taken by Zach Bochnik. Off the glass there. It's taken by Caleb Santamaria. A scrum and develops, and now they get it back to Harris at the point. Sends one back down low. Off the stick of Carestes there. Gormley may have made 2 big saves. He stretches out with the right pad. Carestes on the loose puck, though. Near side face-off circle. Top of the dot. Sends one there. Gormley makes the right pad save. Back on now. Away from Nick Peters. The puck swiveled back on for Kyle Harris. He'll backhand this one back down. It bounces a few times. Knocked down there by Santamaria. Into the slot there. His shot goes wide. Georgia just owning the slot area right now. The Gamecocks can't get a touch on that puck. They've collapsed. The box on the penalty kill is not moving, and Georgia's just moving it all around. Santamaria sends this one back to the goal line. Right around in front there, they jam away at it, and Gormley lays the pads down. A collection of bodies. They all pile on top of each other. Still, the puck is loose in behind the net. The Dogs have it. Gormley's lost his net. Loose in front. Cleared back out. Glove down by Harris. A point shot there. It goes high and wide. All the way back out, finally over the blue line into the neutral zone. The Gamecocks can get a line change. Chad Lazine shrugs off a hit from Harris. The Dogs counter. They are off sides, and so they will have to stop. We can all get a breather here. 15:39 to go in the second period. 12 seconds on the South Carolina penalty. Rob Lawrence in the penalty box. Grade A opportunity, one after another here for Georgia on this particular power play. There was just absolute chaos in front of the South Carolina net, and unfortunately, again, like I said, we're about another 100 feet farther from the playing surface than we usually would be, so it's a little difficult to see. Now, a point shot in the slot there. You heard Gormley get a piece of that one. And ricochets in below the goal line. Rob Lawrence is free from the point. That puck sent there wide. Hammered back out by Duncan Hickman. Too far for Mike Bolger. It's ricocheted back in off the stick of one of the Dogs. Cleared out there by Matt Bigda. And taking this one from his own end is Duncan Hickman. Gains the red line, feathers this one back down on the near side boards. Campbell takes it in his own zone for Georgia. Off the turnover, though, Ian Powderly gets it free to Corey Hawkinson. Right around in front, bouncing puck knocked away there from the stick of Rob Lawrence. Move back out, clears the zone, although it's held in there at the blue line by Corey Hawkinson. Rob Lawrence tangles with a man there. The puck still free. Somebody stepping on it. Rob Lawrence tangling in behind the play. And Al Powderly with the puck in below the goal line. Solid forecheck by South Carolina. Keeps the play alive. Back to the point now. Hoey still looking for his first goal this season. Sends one on net there. Spreadbury gets the blocker on it. Hoey pinches down low. Gets the puck to Hawkinson. Spins out. Lawrence right around in front. Doubles back. Tries to center. Back to the point. Kalega walks. Shoots one. It just goes wide. And it clears the zone. That sharp angle shot caught the boards at a right angle and just rode that curve all the way around the far side. So the Gamecocks have to take this one in their own zone. Hawkinson accidentally played that one off his own net. So it's sent back down in, and icing called here. Waved off as Ian Powderly got to the puck, but Rob Lawrence touched that puck on the far side of the red line. So icing hasn't been called, so back the other way they come. It's taken there. The Dogs have this one. Working into the slot there. It ricochets off a foot, and it's gloved down by the goaltender Liam Gormley. The Gamecocks escape unscathed here. 13:58 to go in the second period. If you're just with us, Ronan Egan started the period off with a crash-the-net style goal. Leaked between the wickets of Spreadbury, and so the Gamecocks cut the lead in half. Now a point shot there. Spikes out of the way in traffic. Gormley kicks it out with that right pad again. That puck bounced down 5 feet. Gormley lunges out to make the save. And now the Gamecocks roar back through the neutral zone. It's Bolger on the far side. Sends one there. Ricochets off a stick. And if that netting wasn't there, I probably could have reached out and caught that puck. That thing had some zip on it. So as the expiration of the Rob Lawrence power play, Georgia now 1 for 3 on the power play. South Carolina 0 for 1. Special teams were the difference, especially in that Virginia Tech game. 3 out of the 4 Virginia Tech goals were scored on the man advantage. So after a defensive zone faceoff here, the Dogs win it. They'll play this one back around far side. Jackson Katz to take it, wears number 23 in red and black, and in this case, the digital style camouflage. And now in behind the South Carolina goal, that puck drifts. Caleb Santamaria tangles there with Nick Peters. Santamaria has about 5 or 6 inches on the Gamecock defenseman. But he plays that puck from the goal line now. To the point, Harris lets one go. Ricocheted in front again. Gormley kicked that puck out. He's found his game here in the second period. The freshman out of Long Island. Now racing back is Cam Mecca. He can't catch up to the puck. Now on the goal line. He takes it out from underneath. Gets buried in behind the Georgia net, but he's back up to his feet now. He'll battle with Harris for the puck. Ronan Egan comes in, and as does Owen Thomas. They'll work it free from Jackson Katz. Ronan Egan, Owen Thomas now behind the net for Cam Mecca. Blue line on for South Carolina, and Carestes works it free, held in at the line there by Ronan Egan. They send it back down low, near side corner. The forwards for South Carolina on a line change, but a turnover again. It's Egan. Sends one into the slot. It ricochets off a stick, bounces now out at the blue line, and now sent back down by Tyler Oakley. On now for Chad Lazine, near side corner, bodied there by Kyle Harris. You got a forearm shiver up into the ribs of Chad Lazine. Now another big hit, and a loose puck in front, covered by Spreadbury, as Alex Siegfried tangles in front of the net there with Sam Hilgeman, the freshman out of Atlanta. So a solid cover there, and another Gamecock offensive front nearly results in a shot on goal. The fourth line on there for South Carolina. Siegfried, Matteo, Matt Owen. Matteo, as he's known to his teammates, and Chad Lazine on the right side. So an offensive zone draw for South Carolina. They'll tangle forward in the faceoff circle, but winning this one and moving it out of the zone will be the Dogs. Seth Johnson with 1 goal already tonight. Now a chance in the slot. A big shot. Gormley got the glove on it. He keeps the puck out. It goes in behind the net. Gormley's lost his cage a little bit here, and the net may have come off. There's a stoppage in play at that far end of the ice down to our left. A stoppage with 12:03 to go in the second period. South Carolina trails 2-1 here on the road in Athens. Gormley gives his defenseman Joe Collega a little tap on the pants. Collega may have made he certainly made a solid defensive play. May have stopped a goal there. So Collega heads for the bench. The Gamecocks win this offensive zone draw back. Colin Burke shovels this one up off the boards. And now ricocheting this one out off the dasher, Matt Bigda. Now it's turned over. Hawkinson back the other way. A sharp angle shot there right about the tops of the circles. Sent back out there. The Gamecocks have to come up and touch on sides. Burke and McGowan on D for South Carolina. Breakout pass fanned on there. They try to clear it off the official. The Dogs work it back out to the red line. Chit back in. Burke sends that puck back the other way. It's taken on now by Ian Powderly. Far side, down the left wing. Makes a move around a man. Powderly to the net. Another move there. He's shut down. Solid defensive play by Nate Michelson. And now right around in front of the net. Burke holds it back in at the blue line. Now shot from a sharp angle. Hawkinson sends it into the glass. Right in front of the Gamecock bench. They're gloved at by Burke. Did he hold it in? Yes, he did. But finally back the other way is Michelson. For the Dogs, Michelson stretches McGowan out wide. A solid shot block there from the Gamecock defenseman, and Gormley sweeps the puck into the corner. 11:09 to go in the second period. Hawkinson to Rob Lawrence. A little chip pass up and away there from Ian Powderly. Icing will not be called. It's touched there by Seth Johnson, and he rolls on from his own zone far side. And now on the forecheck is Luke Rudman. He battles for that puck. They'll get it at the red line here. It's flipped high into the air, about 40 feet back into the Gamecock zone, and now back to get it is Mike Bolger. Bolger out of Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Moves this one back up. He's got 8 goals so far this season. His rookie season through just 11 games played. Now the puck chipped back into the Gamecock zone by the Dogs. Burke out off the boards and held in at the blue line there by Carestes. Into the slot area, waved at by Bolger. It rolls back out over the blue line and recycled back in by the Dogs. Behind the net, Burke once again. Bolger has some trouble with it. It ricochets off his stick and now snapped down from the blue line by one of the Georgia defensemen. Looks like it came off the stick of Aaron Phillips. Goes out of play after a deflection. So we'll have another stoppage, another face-off here. 10:17 to go in the second period. And we do have, if we haven't mentioned, Kyle Harris, the captain for the UGA Ice Dogs. Caleb Santa Maria and Aaron Phillips wear 2 of the alternates. Austin Krusko wears a 3rd alternate. Typically, most teams only have 2 alternate captains, but 3 A's on sweaters for the Ice Dogs. A young team, as we said earlier, 11 rookies this season. The Gamecocks have just as many. Now, Owen Thomas, a sharp angle shot there. He goes down the right wing, and Spreadberry strikes that one out there with the blocker. Knocked down by Aaron Phillips. He's got some room. They'll try to break this one back out and move it past Nick Peters. A turnover there in the neutral zone. The Gamecocks swing back the other way. It's Cam Mecca. Puck bounces off a stick too far. Nick Peters in after it for South Carolina. He's got some jump in his step, but the puck recycled all the way back out, and racing back into Gamecock territory is Ronan Egan. Egan away from Phillips. He'll send this one back on for Oakley, and a big hit there. Bodied off the puck. Oakley down in behind the play. Oakley hadn't even gotten to the puck yet. Play continues, and now out to the near side in front of the Georgia bench. Nicely poked free there by Owen Thomas. Now an odd man rush back for the Gamecocks. 3-on-2. Thomas shoots one there. A solid shot block from Aaron Phillips. Now loose in front of the net there. Ronan Egan getting tangled up, pushed into the goaltender, who then falls on the puck. We have a stoppage in play here. No goal. 9:15 to go in the second period. And it really is a tale of 2 periods here from Athens. The Dogs all over South Carolina in the first. The Gamecocks have put their foot down, their collective foot down here in the second period. This is only, if we haven't mentioned, this is an important divisional matchup. Well, we know it's an important matchup, but is it a divisional matchup? Only the 4th time the Gamecocks have played someone from their own division, that SEC East comprised of the 2 South Carolina teams, USC and Clemson. The Georgia teams, Kennesaw State, UGA, and Georgia Tech, and then Tennessee is the odd man out as the only non-Georgia or South Carolina team in the SEC East. So only the this will be the 5th time the Gamecocks have played a divisional opponent. They are 3-1 in previous games. Again, that 6-2 loss to Tennessee on the road a few weeks ago is the only loss on the Gamecock season. It just happens to be against a divisional opponent. Georgia 6-2-1 in the SEC East, as both teams look to improve their record here. Again, number 1 South Carolina against number 4 Georgia. Rankings just came out recently. So from the Georgia zone, a turnover back down low for Corey Hawkinson. He's able to move the puck to the near side boards, and Ian Powderly, who pulls it off the wall, sends one back down. Hawkinson, a backhand shot there. Spreadbury makes the save. Hawkinson hands down the most lethal backhand shot on South Carolina's roster. He used it there from about 4 feet away from the goaltender. Spreadbury just able to get his body over top of the shot and smother the puck for a face-off. And everyone in the building, if you've come to enough South Carolina games, and really it only takes 3 or 4, if you've come to enough South Carolina games, you can see when number 3 lowers his shoulder, you know that puck's going upstairs. And he does it at least 3 times a game. One of them usually goes high and wide. The other one, the goaltender stops. And then the third one, that's that flex shot. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes not. As we have a stoppage here, the players were lined up for a face-off. 8:46 to go. Suddenly, the door swings open, and somebody comes on with a T-shirt gun. It's chaos here from the Classic Center. And now they're just launching T-shirts ambiguously into the crowd. That came out of nowhere. And granted, I am all for T-shirt guns. So we have an active service member in his uniform launching T-shirts into the crowd. God bless America. That's got to be the best job here. Someone comes up to you and says, hey, you're going to be firing T-shirts into the crowd at 8:46 of the second period. You say, where do I sign? So a well-deserved break here. Not a typical break. Both the Gamecocks and the Dogs, as a T-shirt is launched into the Georgia bench. I don't think they can keep it. Harris flips that one into the stands. A well-deserved rest for both clubs. Usually the only rest they get is in between periods, and perhaps if someone feels the need to call a timeout towards the end of the game. In the more advanced leagues, you'll get TV timeouts. Typically, I'd like to say 4 per period. There's a set amount. I know at least across the SEC in basketball, you get one close to the 8-minute, 6-minute, 4-minute, and 2-minute marks of each half. But, of course, we're talking hockey, not basketball here. So, and, of course, we at the Capital City Sports Network do not have the power or the reason to call for any TV timeouts in Gamecock games. Even if we didn't, we wouldn't want to, because why delay the game anymore? So finally, T-shirt gunner has gone off the ice. And a delayed high stick here off the face-off, knocked down there by the Gamecocks instead. So play continues. It's Ian Powderly. Spins off his check, sends it back to Collega at the point. Fires one there. Spreadbury never saw it, but it goes wide. Hickman recycles back down low for Rob Lawrence. The right-handed shot spins out on his backhand. Back for Collega. He gets it back to Rob Lawrence. Too far for him. It goes underneath. Corey Hawkinson gives it chase. Now Karestes there, and Hilgeman off Duncan Hickman. Zach Bochnik wrestles that puck away from Hickman. And Rob Lawrence looks to take Sam Hilgeman in behind the net. And a jam play by Ian Powderly at the side of the net. Knocked down there and smothered by Owen Spreadbury. Got that left pad down low and gets on top of the puck. 8:04 to go in the second period. The score, if you are just with us, is 2-1. And how we got here, Chris Karestes and Johnson got the pucks into the back of the net for Georgia in the first period. And now, as we started the second period, Nick Peters flips one on over for Ronan Egan. Slides at 5-hole on Spreadbury, 2-1. But that was all the way back at the beginning. We've played a solid chunk of period number 2 here as the Gamecocks try to win that puck back. They inadvertently start the Georgia rush back the other way. Now they played off the dasher here, delayed icing back to get this one is Nick Peters. Icing will be called. The puck comes all the way back down to the right side. Offensive zone faceoff coming up here for South Carolina. Cam Mecca lined up almost directly behind Ronan Egan. They win it back there, and Mecca touches that one on for Peters. It's knocked down in the slot. Jackson Katz up off the high glass. It's gloved down there by one of the dogs. Racing back up the ice is Jacob Solaski. A sharp angle shot, and he scores! Jacob Solaski snaps one past Liam Gormley. The dogs make it 3-1. And a quick up back the other way. Shots off the rush pay off here. Evan Hoey comes back to give his goaltender Gormley a little tap on the pads, and the Gamecocks won the face-off there. But the Dogs, again, just as quickly, they pounce on that puck. They work it all the way back up down the far side, and sharp angle shot there beats Gormley low to the glove side. So off the draw, the Gamecocks work things back again into the Georgia zone. It bounces around, and it's redirected there off a stick. They'll say Santa Maria got a touch on that puck as it went in, so Santa Maria has goal number 12 on this season. Now a jam play right around in front. Swiping at that puck was Luke Rudman. He sent it through an open cage. Back out to the point now. Evan Hoey, knuckle puck sent down there off a glove. After it this time is Luke Rudman. Rudman winds and fires that one off a leg. It's knocked down in the slot. Julian Reese on the backhand shot. He scores! Julian Reese off a broken play. The Gamecocks are back in it. It's 3-2 with 7 exactly on the clock here in the second period. The energy line for South Carolina supplies the offense once again. Julian Reese with Luke Rudman and Mike Bolger. They get it done once again. Relentless in front of the Georgia net. Luke Rudman had a couple of grade A opportunities. The bouncing puck, you just get to the dirty areas there. The Gamecocks were battling for that puck in front of Spreadbury's net. It comes off a leg, takes a fortunate bounce right to the tape of Julian Reese, and South Carolina is back in this hockey game. So the Dogs off the neutral zone faceoff. It's Campbell swinging behind his own net on the breakout pass. It's too far there past the stick, as waving at that one was Jack Ryan. So starting this rush for South Carolina, Matty O sends that one into the slot there. Owen's chance knocked back down. Out off the glass there, taken into the boards by Duncan Hickman will be Seth Johnson. And so on the regroup, they'll send it back on for Joe Collega. Into the Gamecock zone, top of the circles. Collega starts this one out off the board. Siegfried passed for Matt Owen. Over the blue line there, shovels that one right back to Campbell, who whacks it all the way back out, and a delayed icing will come up here. We will have a stoppage in play. The puck goes all the way back down the other way, and an offensive zone faceoff coming up for South Carolina. We've been talking a lot about the venue here. A 2,000-seat arena, convention center, whatever you want to call it. 2,000 seats available here at the Classic Center. Opened in 1995, and now the Gamecocks have a jam play on the side of the net right off that faceoff. It's killed immediately there by Spreadbury. And the Dogs have been playing here for, this is their 5th or 6th season. Before that, they had to go all the way out, about 40 minutes off campus, to go to all their practices and all their games. So it's a little difficult sometimes scheduling the games because you got to schedule it around whatever other attraction comes to the convention center. And you got to find a convenient time to put up an ice rink, which is no small feat. Actually, the players themselves work on building the ice rink. It takes a couple days, and now a shot there redirected by Ian Powderly goes off the glass. Play continues here on offensive zone front for South Carolina. Underneath Ian Powderly, now it's Corey Hawkinson below the goal line, tries to drop that one off. He's still got the puck, moves it back out now to Peters. Back down low, off the dasher for Hawkinson. Moves this one back under for Rob Lawrence. Taken into the boards, Hawkinson spins one there on goal. Spreadbury gets down. He stayed standing as the puck went off his leg, and finally gets down to cover it. So another face-off here, 5:27 to go in the second period. Georgia on top, 3-2. Still a one-goal lead, but after some back and forth, we're essentially in the same place we were when we started the period. Another offensive zone draw for South Carolina to the right of Spreadbury. The Gamecocks win that one there, and a quick shot by Owen Thomas, gobbled up by Spreadbury. Grade A opportunity there, right at the hash mark on the inside of it, right in the slot. Owen Thomas, the right-handed shot, had the whole net he was looking at there. Spreadbury made himself big at the top of the paint. Made the save here, 5:23 to go. Off the ensuing face-off, the Dogs win it, but the Gamecocks quickly pounce on it. Ronan Egan back to the point. Nick Peters sends it back down low for his alternate captain out of Bluebell, PA. State champion in Pennsylvania his senior year of high school. Now back out come the Dogs. A stretch pass. Caleb Santamaria tries to pull up on that one. He lost the puck, blew a tire, and so he'll have to just backhand this one past Tyler Oakley. Racing back is Cam Mecca. So Mecca in behind the South Carolina net. Picking up some speed, takes some slashes there by Santamaria. Bowls over a man, Cam Mecca. Lowers the boom there on Jacob Salaski. And now out of the boards from the red line, it's Cam Mecca back the other way for South Carolina. Into the offensive zone, drops this one off. A quick shot there, blocked off the left foot of Santamaria. Picked up by Mecca, behind the net. Hash marks, Ronan Egan works it free. Now a quick shot there, Owen Thomas. High, and a save there up in the mask/chest protector area. Spreadbury gets on top of that one again. 4.5 to go in the second period. This one shaping up to be an instant classic from the Classic Center. Fitting. The Athens Ford Arena at the Classic Center. The Gamecocks played their outdoor game against Auburn about a block west of here last season. Again, it was the converted parking garage. They put up a sheet of ice outdoors. Gamecocks ended up winning that game. And now back to the way come the Dogs here. Quick shot. Gormley comes out. He makes the big save. The Dogs are quick on their breakout. The Dogs are extremely quick getting that puck up ice. All of a sudden, they've got numbers back the other way. Jack Ryan, a quick shot there. Again, one goal already this afternoon, or this evening, rather. And so an offensive zone draw here. The Dogs try to win this one sideways in the slot area there. It's gloved down and bounces all the way back out to the red line. Mike Bolger into the skates there. Julian Reese. Reese from the red line sends it across. Evan Hoey plays it off his skates there. He's got to come back and touch up on side, so Julian Reese elects to just flip this puck back in. Spinning away there from the forechecking Mike Bolger is Bigda. They'll send this one all the way back down. Icing will be called as Evan Hoey beats his man back to that puck. Again, the ACHA, they play hybrid icing. It's not quite as new as it once was, but what is anymore? So the hybrid icing, they brought it in, I believe, after the most recent CBA in the NHL back in 2013. Instead of both players would have to come back, and it's whoever touches it first. If the offensive player touches it first, I think icing is waved off. The defensive player touches it first, icing is called. Too many guys were getting hurt, so they implemented the hybrid icing. If the defensive player beats the rush back to the tops of the circles, icing is called. But then if the attacking player beats him back, it's whoever touches it first. So
The ACHA has been following those rules ever since that CBA was put in place. So now Joe Collega off this draw. They got to work it all the way back down into South Carolina territory. And so again, on this hybrid icing, back right down to our right, Big D reaches the top of the circles before Luke Rudman does. And so an icing sends this play all the way back down now to our left. 3:18 to go in the second period, an offensive zone face-off for the Dogs. Spreadbury hasn't been tested too often. Neither has Gormley here throughout these kind of middle to end stages of the period. An offensive zone draw one here by the Dogs. They send that one well wide. Duncan Hickman gets out of the way so as not to put it back into the slot. And now South Carolina moves on through. A nice stretch pass. Julian Reese picks the puck up down the right side. Sends one back on now for Bolger, who blew a tire, goes awkwardly into the boards, gets back up, and he has the puck. What a play there by Bolger. Now Powderly works it back to the point. It's Duncan Hickman. Walks, sends this one back down low. Neither of the two Gamecock attacking forwards down below the goal line could get the puck. And so on now, it's Julian Reese. He picks it up at the hash marks. Reese tries to fight his way towards the net, bodied off there by Campbell, who sends the puck off the wall. And now a 2-on-1 back the other way for Georgia. Now racing back is Reese to negate that one. And now another shot there goes high off the stick of Duncan Hickman. And ricocheted there after Zach Botchnick shot that one. And so it's pinned to the boards. Finally worked free, worked on underneath past Julian Reese. He will get the puck here. And move it on now for Rob Lawrence. Tries to send one across for Ian Powderly. Now a turnover at the blue line again. Back the other way, a solid defensive play. Hickman denies Jackson Katz a clear-cut opportunity. And a chance to make it 4-2 Georgia. Now the puck loose in front, and a shot sent wide there. Georgia with some high danger chances. Now Katz at the point sends that one on goal, knocked down in front. Lawrence able to get this one free. He tries to spring Ian Powderly on the rush back the other way. The puck just sitting in the neutral zone face-off right at center ice. And now worked all the way back in Duncan Hickman, who's been on for quite some time. Rims this puck all the way around for Corey Hawkinson. It bounces off his stick. Goes back into the slot. Now back at the point. Katz waves at that one. Now walking and firing that one. It goes high and wide. Jackson Katz again. They'll move this one back, and now we have a stoppage. And the net has been knocked off once again. Again, not by much, but just enough here. The net of Liam Gormley. So they'll put it back on here with 1:40 to go in the second period. Last game of the semester for the Ice Dogs. They want to leave a good impression on their fans as they won't see each other until January. One of the last two games this semester for South Carolina. Tomorrow night at 10 p.m., the Gamecocks roll into Atlanta to play Georgia Tech. So a Georgia swing here to cap off 2019, which calendar year, a good year. But this season, the 2019 half of this season has been one for the record books here for South Carolina. Again, first time the team has ever been ranked number one in the ACHA South. Ian Powderly roaring back here as we approach the final minute of the second. He's going to send a backhander there intended for Hawkinson. And now back out the other way, taken by Austin Krusko. Pulls up, sends one on goal there. It may have been touched by Nick Peters as the puck goes high and wide into the glass. Gamecocks pounce on the loose puck, rolling back ahead. Corey Hawkinson, 1 minute to play here. The puck ricochets. Now Cam Mecca going to the net. Lowers the shoulder, sends one high there, and Spreadbury gets the shoulder up and covers as Rob Lawrence is booted from the front of the net by all the Georgia defensemen. Solid save by Spreadbury, 52.1. And Cam Mecca showing a little of his inner Corey Hawkinson there, dipping the shoulder and trying to send that puck up under the crossbar. He nearly did it, had it not been for the shoulder of Owen Spreadbury. So maybe only one more offensive zone opportunity for South Carolina as the Dogs win this one back, and Michelson plays it off the wall. Sent back down, though, as the Gamecocks held it in at the point. So it rims around to the far side. Owen Thomas taken into the boards. They're doubled up on now by two Dogs. And taken away from this one, Ronan Egan. Down low for Cam Mecca. Egan gets a shot up high. And out the point, Peters sends a rolling puck there. Redirected there, loose in front of the net. Swiped at by Ronan Egan. Now the puck played up off the high glass. Back out the other way, Carestes down the far side. Pulls up, sidesteps Oakley there, but Oakley got a stick on it. The puck pops up into the air here. 21 seconds to go. It drifts all the way back out into the Dogs' defensive zone, and forward-checking is Rob Lawrence. Now back on Cam Mecca. Tries to play free. He gets crunched, but following on is he going to shot. Save! He scores! Ronan Egan! The Gamecocks tie it at 3 with 5.5 left in the second period. Cam Mecca sacrifices the body to make a play. What more can you say about the captain for South Carolina? He gets crunched, and he knows he's going to get crunched there along the far side boards. He takes the hit. He gets the puck free to Ronan Egan, who's got his second goal of the game. He puts that one under the glove of Spreadberry, right in between the hash marks. And we are all tied up here in Athens. A late period goal. They'll drop the puck at center ice, and time expires. A brand new hockey game headed into the third period. Assistant coach John Kochlenberg ecstatic on the bench right now. The Gamecocks will have to hold on to this feeling here. Try to channel everything they've got. It's going to be the biggest third period of the season, and you can quote me on that. But first, we'll send you to a break, and when we come back, period number 3 from the Classic Center. You're going to want to stick around for this one on the Capital City Sports Network, all presented by SGTV. Welcome back to the Capital City Sports Network. The players have taken the ice as we approach the beginning of the third period. South Carolina and Georgia all tied up at 3 with 20 minutes left in regulation. Georgia coming off an overtime loss less than 24 hours ago against Kennesaw State. The Gamecocks, in their most recent game, took down Wake Forest on the road. And then an overtime thriller the night before that. So overtime in the last few weeks has been a consistent theme for both clubs. If you're just with us, Chris Carestes and the secondary goal there coming from Seth Johnson in the first period. And then Ronan Egan would equal things out at the beginning and end of the second period. There are a couple of Georgia goals sandwiched in between. Caleb Santamaria and Jackson Katz would add the other two Dog goals. And that is how we find ourselves. South Carolina moving right to left to start the third period. Ronan Egan to take the faceoff. He goes down there against Jackson Katz, and Katz wins the faceoff back. We're underway here in the third. Puck drifting back into the South Carolina zone. Tyler Oakley back. He starts out with Nick Peters on the back end. Peters going to send this one back down and recovered by Cam Mecca. He'll push this one on free for Ronan Egan. 2 goals already tonight. Tries to curl that one into the slot. It's knocked off his stick, cycled all the way back out to the neutral zone, where Tyler Oakley plays this one high off the glass, and it ricochets on back. Swatted out by Georgia. Nick Peters sends a backhander there, and hit from behind right in front of the bench is Owen Thomas. Penalty will come up. It was a soft pass from Nick Peters. He didn't get a lot on it, so there was a lot of time between when the puck was passed and when it got to Owen Thomas. And so Aaron Phillips had number 27 in Garnet lined up, literally the number 27 lined up, put Owen Thomas on his face. Fortunately for Thomas, he wasn't a foot closer to the boards. Otherwise, he would have gotten a cage full of glass there instead of just going down to the ice. So another power play here for South Carolina. They work it on back to the point. It's Tyler Oakley back now for Cam Mecca. Underneath there, they go pitch and catch. Back out center point. It's Oakley. Sends one on and across there for Nick Peters. Walks back up towards the blue line. Sends this one back on off the boards. They're going to be taken there by Owen Thomas. Mecca on the jam play right around in front. The puck pops high and wide, and more after the whistle as the net comes off with just about 1 minute gone here in this third period. Minute 34 left on the power play for South Carolina. They still look for their first power play goal of the evening. Bit of a different looking lineup here for South Carolina. Again, we said how Avery Pruden, a healthy scratch for the first time this season. Parker West didn't make the trip. Michael Peake, who's been in for the last handful of games, comes out. Chad Lazine goes in. Lazine nearly a point per game player here. He's got 9 points in 8 games. Well, this is his 9th game now here. Now chance right around in front there. The Gamecocks, they score! Owen Thomas sends one upstairs. It rattled around. It looked like it went off the crossbar, but it's in the back of the net. The Gamecocks claw their way back in it. 4-3 South Carolina. First power play goal of the night. Beginning of the third period here. The Gamecocks, they took their time getting there, but they found a lead. And those top 2 lines really are going for South Carolina. So off the neutral zone draw, Joe Collega sends this one back in. Off the delayed offsides, they'll touch up. Ryan McGowan looks to get the other assist on that one. And now it rolls all the way back down underneath. Taken there by the Dogs, out off the stanchion. Gamecock still in the offensive zone, sent back. Held in there by Duncan Hickman, and it rolls free at the red line. Back the other way come the Dogs, a 3-on-1. Quickly shut down. Now a shot upstairs. Gormley fights that one off. It bounces back into the slot where it can be cleared out there by Julian Reese. He gets on his horse and gets after it. Reese into the offensive zone. A shot there goes wide, low to the blocker's side. And it clears the zone all the way back for Joe Collega behind the blue line, who sends this one back out. Streaking after it is Duncan Hickman. In below the Georgia goal line there. The Dogs take control. They'll move this one out along the far side. And now a stretch pass back the other way. It's Santamaria alone to the backhand. A shot. Gormley got it with the paddle. What a save by Liam Gormley. He reaches out and robs Caleb Santamaria. 17:42 to go. The Gamecocks protecting a lead they've recently made for themselves. Evan Hoey lofts this one from his own zone. It bounces back down, swatted at there, and spiked away from Aaron Phillips. Into the near side boards, taken out. Evan Hoey cycles this one back in from the red line. And standing to make the save is Spreadbury. He'll let this one go. And it's played all the way back out. That was a bit of an odd exchange there. Spreadbury didn't even move. He let the puck hit him, and then he just dropped it. So the Dogs take it back in their own zone. Evan Hoey recently crunched. Ian Powderly makes it now alone in front. Is Lawrence a shot, and Spreadbury comes out to make the save. The puck is loose. Picked up by Ian Powderly, and someone has lost a helmet, maybe a glove. It's the goaltender. Spreadbury without a helmet. Lawrence got taken into the net there by one of the Georgia defenders. Looked like it could have been Aaron Phillips. So with 17:04, a stoppage in play. It doesn't look like any penalties will be handed out. Rob Lawrence has already made his nightly trip to the penalty box. 27 penalty minutes through just 9 games coming into this one. Cam Mecca with 35, the only Gamecock who has more. And at the neutral zone, back the other way, a 2-on-1 here for Georgia. Down the near side, they'll lower the shoulder. Poked off the net there by Colin Burke. Johnson broke his stick. He broke Burke's stick, and now back the other way. The Gamecocks try to break it out. The Dogs intercept. Burke's going to get off the ice in exchange for Nick Peters. Now Evan Hoey winds and fires that one as he enters the zone. It goes wide, and Chad Lazine tries to give chase, but the Dogs come away with the puck. They'll play it out off the boards into South Carolina territory. Peters wraps it back out. Picked up the red line by Lazine. Matt Owen following on. He couldn't pick up the puck, but racing back forward now is Peters down the right side into the slot. Sends one there. Spreadbury may have made a save with his left toe. Chad Lazine, and now the loose puck swept out on the backhand by Alex Siegfried into the slot there for Egan. Has a chance at a trick, and it's shot down there by Spreadbury. As the broken stick of Colin Burke is played back out towards center ice by Liam Gormley. As Burke was kind of riding Seth Johnson into the net there, Burke's stick got caught between the goaltender and the goal post. The goaltender survived, the stick did not. And again, Colin Burke at 6'5", he's got a lot of stick to work with, and it's not exactly easy to break. He's got about 110 flex on it. So a lot of heat and a lot of person coming around the net there. So this puck off the draw there. The Gamecocks send that one on the backhand. It's Cam Mecca on the ice. 16 minutes here in the third period. Around on the front backhand again. Mecca there. They jam away at it. Loose in front. Where's the puck? Spreadbury sped out. Finally, the official emphatically signals no goal. There were about 5 or 6 seconds there where the Gamecocks were just trying to, well, they looked like they were trying to score with their bodies. They were just packing the net, packing the crease area. Spreadbury down on his stomach, kicks the pads out, makes a V with his legs, and somehow keeps the puck on the friendly side, at least for Georgia, friendly side of the goal line. So an offensive zone draw again for South Carolina. Ronan Egan's on with Cam Mecca and Owen Thomas. This line circling like sharks around the Georgia net ever since the beginning of the second period. Nick Peters plays a loose puck from in front of his own net, tries the breakout pass, gets it to Cam Mecca. Can't get it free now. Ronan Egan one-hands that puck. He'll try to play it back to Nick Peters, but the Dogs intercept. After that one, Santa Maria, now Peters up ahead. Far side for Cam Mecca. Chases that puck. They'll catch up to it right in front of the official. Mecca gets taken hard into the boards. He tried to lower the shoulder, and Mecca just ate the wall there in the far side. A solid body check as this puck comes all the way back down. Nick Peters from his own zone. Mecca still on the ice, doesn't look any worse for wear as Peters gets dusted in his own zone. A nice hit there from Jackson Katz. And now back out. Mecca down the left side, going to try again. Into the slot, it's broken up. Ronan Egan follows on. Takes the puck there from the far side boards. Sends it back down low. And the Dogs have some time here for a control breakout. Instead, they'll flip this one here. A slow bouncer that comes to rest at the top of the Gamecock circles. Duncan Hickman taken into the boards. The loose puck finally taken near side by Bolger. He turns around and heads in behind the South Carolina net. Plays that one up off the glass. A bouncer picked up at center ice there by Julian Reese. In over the line, Reese with Rudman and Bolger. One goal already generated by this line. Reese there. The puck bouncing up and ahead there. Waved at by Joe Colleggett. He flags it down in his own end. Skates back to the hash mark. Faces pressure there from Chris Carestes. And ricochets all the way back out to the red line. Cycled back in by Georgia. They go for a line change, and Joe Collega has to restart. Collega flips this one. It goes off a glove. Off of Max Mayhofer. Hooked up by Julian Reese. Heads the one towards the net. Shot save made. Rebound picked up. Reese a follow-up chance. That goes wide too. Out off the far side boards. Gamecocks with 14-14 to go in the third period. A 4-3 lead. They're trying to add to it. Julian Reese behind the goal. gets hit from behind. Play continues. And now battling for this puck along the near side boards is Julian Reese. He's got it. Reese pulls up, shoots one there. That goes wide. May have gone off the official after it goes wide of the net and hits the glass. Georgia tries to get it out of their own zone. Taken into the boards there. Julian Reese. He'll battle for it. The puck worked free by Bolger. A couple players down behind the play. Pick up on a swiveling shot by Bolger. Ricochets all the way up in the air. It comes to rest behind the Georgia net. Julian Reese near side. Faces the point, but sends it back down on his backhand. A no-look pass for Luke Rudman. Taken into the boards where it's now played there by Bolger. Behind the goal, Bolger swings there. Back for Rudman after it first this time, and getting the stick knocked out of his hands is Bolger. He'll go down to his knees, and he'll play this puck. Staple gun to the boards once more will be Julian Reese. Tries to fight that puck free. Without a stick is Rudman. He kicks at it, and finally he gets hit. And now Bolger at the tops of the circles there. Center point, lets one go. It's knocked down by the blocker of Spreadbury, and finally out of the boards. Georgia still can't get it out. Held in by Collega. Now finally it drifts back out. Both teams need line changes. Duncan Hickman going to pull this one back in front of the Georgia blue line. He'll pull up and make a couple of stick handle right before he sends that puck in on the backhand. Georgia sends this one high, all the way back down for an icing. That'll bring play back down to the Georgia zone. South Carolina jumping on the Ice Dogs here throughout the first half of the third period. Most important game this season. Again, every game in the regular season is worth 2 points. But the opponent can make it mean more or less, and certainly in this instance makes it mean much more from the hockey team out of Columbia. So off the defensive zone draw, the Dogs win it. They slap it in behind their own goal. Play it back out towards center where Ryan McGowan touches it. Go D to D with Evan Hoey. Now a quick breakout. Back the other way is Powderly. He's got to step down the right side. Sends one there. It's ricocheted in front off the stick of Michelson. Solid shot block there. Now it rolls on back to the point. Hoey holds it onside. Sends a headhunter there. Goes over the goal and pinching down low is McGowan after this one. Ian Powderly on it. Sidesteps and goes over a stick. And now McGowan has it after half wall. McGowan battles, has it swept off his blade there. Goes back down low, right in front. Hawkinson got buried. Delayed penalty coming. And now a jam play. It goes in! Or does it? The officials haven't made a signal. The Gamecocks are celebrating as if they've scored. We have not seen a clear sign from an official that the puck went in the net. 12:08 to go in the third period. Chaos again in front of the Georgia goal. The Gamecocks come to the bench for handshakes and fist bumps. And the officials will confer. The linesman goes to get the puck out of the net. The goaltender for Georgia goes to a skate. They've put the fifth goal up on the board for South Carolina. It'll count. A pile up in front. Corey Hawkinson paid quite a price there as he got buried right in front of the Georgia net. Not sure if Hawkinson was the man to touch that puck and put it home. There was a sea of garnet and camouflage jerseys in front of Spreadbury's cage. So with 12:08 to go, somehow that puck found its way in, and now it's 5-3 in favor of the visitors. Still a lot of time left in this one. And now there is a penalty. So they'll leave the goal up and give the Dogs a penalty here. It has been given to Matt Bigda, the freshman out of Marietta, Georgia. They'll give Bigda the cross check here. And now another delayed penalty in behind the play. It's going to come against the Dogs. Gormley heads to the bench. Mecca here, and he'll try to send that one back in. It's touched up. They've given the goal to Ian Powderly. His first goal in a couple of games here, 6th on the season in his 12th game. No assists have been listed by the PA announcer. So with Bigda in the box for cross-checking, the Gamecocks can go to their third power play of the night. And now off this offensive zone face-off, Owen Thomas has it, and he's taken down. Play continues. Move back out, and Seth Johnson in the box on the secondary penalty. So a 5-on-5 here, or excuse me, 5-on-3 for South Carolina, and a chance to widen the gap. Nick Peters at his own blue line. Shakes off a defender. Skates it in himself down the right side. Tries to go wide there on Harris. Sends it on the backhand there. Tries to center for Owen Thomas. He goes late to the play. The goaltender has covered the puck. So with 11:20 to go in the third period, a minute 12 on the 5-on-3, the Gamecocks will go to work again. Another offensive zone faceoff. And we see down Joe Collega. He's in his street clothes here. Right in front of us down in the Gamecock corner. Did not see him exit the game, but clearly he will not be back. So shorthanded back the other way with a minute on the 5-on-3 come the Dogs. Quickly broken up there. Tyler Oakley picks the puck up on the near side and looks for a stretch pass. And too far there. It's just hopped over the stick of Owen Thomas. And Thomas goes awkwardly into the boards after play is stopped. Picks himself back up, dusts himself off. So 10:56 to go. My apologies. I'm looking at Avery Pruden. He's got 18 on his jersey, or on his jacket rather. Joe Collega wearing 19, and again from up here he's facing the wrong way. Joe Collega is still in the hockey game. Avery Pruden, who was never in the hockey game, is still not in the hockey game. My apologies. So no injuries to any of the Gamecocks, and of course, to make me feel even more ridiculous, Joe Collega steps on the ice for South Carolina. How you doing? 10:53, a defensive zone faceoff. They win it over to Joe Collega. Moving on now for Julian Reese, across for Corey Hawkinson. 40 seconds to go on the two-man advantage for South Carolina. They have trouble getting into the offensive zone. Reese pushes it ahead. Collega, the lone forechecker. Georgia goes D to D. They'll move this one out past Ryan McGowan. Back where Gormley will have to play it. Outside of the trapezoid there. That rule does not apply here in the ACHA. Gamecocks having trouble on the breakout. 19 seconds to go. Finally, it rolls back in behind the Georgia net. Hawkinson taken into the boards there. He'll battle for it. Bolger works it free, though. Collega, sharp angle shot. Spreadbury makes the save. Follow-up chance. Spreadbury makes another save. Loose on the far side. 5 seconds on the 5-on-3. Solid battle in behind the net there, and it's finally forked all the way back out past Ryan McGowan. So 16 seconds left. Gamecocks cannot capitalize on this chance. So they go 1 for 3 now, and a delayed call here. We will see another stoppage in play. Bolger less than thrilled with this one. He goes to the bench, and it will be, in fact, Julian Reese taken to the box on a trip. So that'll negate the Gamecock power play. They've gone 1 for 4 now. Julian Reese, his second penalty tonight. So 9:56. And a man advantage for Georgia. Face-off, one out sideways. Joe Collega puts it out on the backhand. It rolls all the way down. Stands up on its edge, does the puck. And so they've called a whistle here for, well, it can't be icing because the Gamecocks are on the power play. At least we know that. A stoppage in play without any clear reason here. So the faceoff comes back into the Gamecocks' end. That was strange. They'll be able to win it, though. Matt Owen sends it off the boards, and diving after this one is Chad Lazine. The puck stays in the zone, though. Lazine's got to race back here. Sharp angle shot. It goes off Gormley, perhaps Collega as well in front of the net. Lifted back down. Carestes tries to play it down with the glove. He'll battle with Joe Collega in behind the goal. And now Katz has it for Georgia. Out to the far side, Santa Maria, center point. He'll get it back, though. Play pitch and catch. Santa Maria one more time, top of the circle. Sends one there. Gormley punches it out with the blocker. Behind the goal, Jackson Katz battles with Ryan McGowan. Chad Lazine comes on to help. He'll play it back out, but the Dogs keep it in the blue line. Back down, off a skate. It's booted in behind the South Carolina net. Collega one more time off the boards and one more time held into the blue line. 1 minute on the Georgia power play here. McGowan can't grab the puck. It comes free to Caleb Santa Maria on the far side. Right-handed shot goes back down for Katz. Katz walks away from McGowan, drops it off now for Santa Maria along the goal line. Walks backs out, wides the circle. And McGowan taking slashes in front with Jackson Katz. They'll both be sent to the box. Jackson Katz took the first slash at Ryan McGowan. The arm went up. Ryan McGowan took a retaliatory slash at Jackson Katz. Play was stopped. Both men get sent to the penalty box. And it looked like if McGowan had not taken that retaliatory slash at Katz's legs. The Gamecocks may have been able to find themselves on the power play here. But with 8:43, it looks like a 4-on-3, or a 5-on-4 rather, will continue. So offsetting minors send McGowan and Katz. Offensive zone draw for South Carolina. Luke Rudman on with Rob Lawrence to kill this penalty. Duncan Hickman and Evan Hoey. Hoey lauded for his penalty killing abilities, especially last season. He was instrumental in shutting down other teams' power plays. And now Lawrence off to the face-off win. Risked this one all the way back out. 43 seconds, still at 5-on-3. Lawrence forechecks in and beats all the Ice Dogs back to the puck. He sends it out now into the neutral zone for Luke Rudman. And now it bounces free in front of the Georgia net. Rob Lawrence after the bouncing puck in front. And now all the way out it comes into the Gamecock end. Evan Hoey bounces off that. He's hit and now a delayed offsides. Georgia has to touch up. They do. Hoey in front of his own net collects this puck and risks it the length of the ice, 200 feet all the way down in behind the Georgia net. One last rush on the man advantage. 8 minutes to go in the third period. South Carolina in front 5-3. Georgia brings it in now down the right side. Bigda drops this one off, sends it back out now. Out of the box is Julian Reese. He went right to the bench, and now a broken play at center ice. Owen Thomas gets taken down right back to his feet. He's got Cam Mecca alone in front. Mecca the shot. Big save by Spreadberry. Still the puck is loose. Owen Thomas gets buried in front of the net. A delayed penalty. Duncan Hickman sends that one off one of the Dogs. Gormley goes to the net. Extra attacker on. It's Lawrence. Rolling puck there. Finally touched by Georgia. Rob Lawrence has to be careful here not to take another penalty. He's quickly separated from his jawing counterpart there. Can't see who's in that Georgia sweater, but the officials pull him apart. And Lawrence quickly shuffled back to the bench here. So a penalty coming up to Georgia. Cameron Campbell, the sophomore, finds himself in the penalty box for 2 minutes. Another power play opportunity for South Carolina. They are 1 for 4 on the evening. 7:28 to go in the third. In behind the goal, the Gamecocks have it. It's Mecca. Mecca walks around far side. Tries to spin off his check there. Watched closely by Dylan Spicer. They'll work it back now. Owen Thomas. Point shot there. Peters redirected in front there. Mecca can't retouch that puck home. He's got the puck in behind. Tries to send it through. Tyler Oakley comes down. He gets checked. The puck rolls all the way underneath for Cam Mecca. Loose puck backhanded all the way back out. It comes loose in the slot, and now back they come short-handed, 1-on-2. And the Dogs will just dump this one back in. Dylan Spicer stays on the ice after dumping that puck, and a control breakout here. 1:22 to go on the South Carolina power play. Picked up by Mike Bolger. Gains the blue line. He'll pull up at the hash marks along the far side half wall. Just kind of play with the puck for a little bit. Nobody wants to come after him. He'll get it back there from Peters. Pitch and catch again. Peters, center point. Lets one go there. Almost redirected by Ronan Egan. A follow-up shot by Bolger. Doesn't get to the net. And it's collected and thrown all the way back down the ice. 58 seconds to go as Gormley comes out to stop this puck and set it up there for Tyler Oakley. Another control breakout for South Carolina. Joe Collega finally picks up speed through the neutral zone. That center lane drive. And Al Bolger sends this one held on sides by Duncan Hickman. He'll move it back down low for Owen Thomas. Too far for him. Kyle Harris wraps this one around the boards. And it comes all the way back down. A rolling puck the length of the ice. Back to play at Duncan Hickman. He'll get it from his goaltender Gormley. And so South Carolina will begin again. Inside 6 minutes to play, third period. The Gamecocks leading the Ice Dogs 5-3 here. Long shot saved by Spreadberry. The rebound cleared out of the paint right in front there. It comes back on now to Hawkinson at the blue line. Has trouble with that puck, but it stays on sides. Now finally it goes off. Gamecocks have to touch up. They go D to D. Duncan Hickman feathers this one back in opposite corner. Gormley slamming his stick on the ice to indicate that the penalty has been killed off. Gamecocks now 1 for 5. So the Dogs at full strength send this one back in. They've got to get their penalty killers off. They're in the offensive zone now. Joe Collega taken into the boards there. In behind the net, Chris Carestes at the hash mark. Sends one on goal there. Gormley down in the butterfly makes the save. Puck knocked down in the slot. Joe Collega able to work this one free. Spicer chased down now by Julian Reese. The puck off the stick of Spicer, past Reese, now on back for Colin Burke at his own blue line. Just going to tap this one ahead for Owen Thomas into the offensive zone. A bouncing puck as Thomas is hit behind the play. And a rolling puck there by Colin Burke in on goal. Inside 5 minutes here in Athens. Gamecocks looking for their first win against Georgia since October of 2014. The Dogs will not go quietly into the night as here again. Carestes a wrist shot there. And a stick save by Gormley. That puck thunders up into the glass. Evan Hoey is the man on it. He'll move this one up, intended for Ian Powderly, but the Dogs take over, lift it all the way up into the air. It comes to rest in front of Evan Hoey, who gets dumped. Evan Hoey. He is slow to get up. He never saw it. Hoey never had the puck. Now Lawrence is going to get a penalty here. He takes down Kyle Harris. And a full-on melee as the puck is still going there. Colin Burke takes a shot. Rob Lawrence is tangled up on the near side boards. He takes down one of the Ice Dogs. Evan Hoey is back on his feet now. This all unfolded in a matter of 10 seconds. Hoey was looking around. He never saw the puck. He got a shoulder to the chin of, I believe, Jackson Katz. Hoey back on his feet. Rob Lawrence took exception to that. He will certainly get another penalty. 4-11 here as the Dogs looking to do what they can to get back in this hockey game. Lawrence puts a salutatory fist up in the air. Gives a salute to any of the traveling Gamecock fans who may be here in Athens. Ian Powderly delivers Lawrence his stick to the penalty box. Evan Hoey has his helmet off. He seems to be unshaken, but that was a violent collision right in front of the penalty box. Evan Hoey was looking around for the puck, had his head down, got buried. And Evan Hoey, 5'11", 215, takes a lot to move a guy of that stature. And he just got a shoulder right on the chin there from most likely Jackson Katz. Again, the ice surface a little far away here. 4:11 to go in the third period. Alan Sirwa with some extra instruction for his team. Assistant coach John Koeklenberg speaks with his defenseman. Head coach Rick Emmett gives his directions for the Ice Dogs. John Camp and Brian Daly watch on as well, the two assistant coaches. The equipment manager for Georgia is Steve Beneke. He's actually had a couple of games as head coach, 5-2-2 in his limited experience as bench boss. So Lawrence, for the moment, is the only player in the penalty box for either club. That would send Georgia to the power play with 4:11 to go in the third period. So 2 minutes. If Georgia doesn't score, the Gamecocks will be back at even strength around the 2-minute mark. Should the Dogs score to make it 5-4, depending on when that happens, we'll play it by ear and see how much time is left. But again, if the Dogs score, say, halfway through the power play, that'll leave 3 minutes on the clock here and only one goal for Georgia to score to try and get back in this game and tie it. But right now, the deficit is 2. The Gamecocks have played numerous games where they've ridden a 6, 7, or 8 goal lead throughout the duration of the third period. And if you don't believe me, we can consult the record book here. 12-3 over App State. 7-1 over Wake Forest. That is the most recent game. A timeout being taken here by South Carolina. Evan Hoey, I'll keep an eye on him. He's stretching out in front of the South Carolina bench. He seems to be okay. Hoey missed the first half of the season after shoulder surgery. Back in now, and Spreadbury and Carestes trying to hype up the crowd here in Athens. Seems to be working. And the funniest part about it is this isn't the only event going on in this building. Just from walking around in between periods trying to find some water, I've walked past at least 2 other conventions in separate rooms. And I mean, they pull out all the stops here. There's a full concession stand. There's popcorn. I'm looking down on nachos, all kinds of food here for the hockey fans to come and eat. There's food all over the place in the other ballrooms. They put an ice sheet up in a convention center. The Dogs have some championship banners hanging. Sound systems throughout. We've got some hanging snowflakes. I'm not entirely sure what that's for. Well, it is the spirit of the season. And then they wheel bleachers in here and set them all up. I mean, really, it is a production here. Hockey in Athens. So we're still trying to figure out, with 4:11 to go, we're trying to figure out all the penalties and assessments here. Trying to take a listen here. Rob Lawrence has been assessed a 5-minute major. It is the only penalty on the board. Oh. Well, this changes everything. That's the only penalty that's gone up there. There's another member of the Dogs in the penalty box. But that will not affect the personnel on the ice. I can't see who it is, and I couldn't hear the PA announcer. So, oh boy, as if it wasn't an interesting enough finish here as it stands. The Gamecocks have a 2-goal lead, but the Dogs will have a 5-minute major power play to work with here. They can score as many goals as they want. The power play won't go away. They have 2 goals to cover here. 5-3, the Gamecocks on top. They've dropped the puck, and it's Carestes. Sends this one across. The Gamecocks in the fight for their lives here in the late third period of this game. Now Ronan Egan plays the puck away. The official got involved there. He got his skates over the puck, and Ronan Egan couldn't get it out. So back the other way come the Dogs. A quick shot there. Gormley fights it out. He's going to have to be South Carolina's best penalty killer here on this, the biggest penalty kill of the season. The Gamecocks get it all the way back out. Dogs wind it up from the neutral zone. Jackson Katz has it, plays it on now far side. They work it down. It's taken by Matt Bigda. Pulls up in front of Tyler Oakley and moves it on back to the point. Off the dasher, Bigda has it. Sends one off the side of the cage there. Gormley got a stick on it as well. Makes the save. The puck rolls back out. Bigda, top of the circles. Watched by Ronan Egan. He'll drop this one back off. Caleb Santamaria pulls up. He'll go back and forth and drop that puck off there instead for Kyle Harris. Working it back down low. Far side. All of this taking place on one side of the ice. Trying to make the Gamecocks forget about the other side. Now a shot there. Gormley kicks it out again. Exactly as we said. They pass the puck around on the far side, then move it over to the near side, hoping you forget about that lone guy over there. It almost worked. Gormley kicked the puck out. Inside 3 minutes to go. The Gamecocks will be shorthanded for the remainder of regulation. They'll play this puck down the shot. They score! Caleb Santamaria wires a puck up and over the shoulder of Gormley. It's a power play goal, and the Dogs are within 1. His second goal of the night. Caleb Santamaria, goal number 13 this season. And that one was just, they held it along the far side there. He walked into the face-off circle and kind of a half clapper there up over the shoulder of Gormley. He was already down and kind of deep in his net. There was traffic in front of the net. Gormley couldn't see the puck until it was already over his shoulder. So with 2:46 to go, the Gamecocks' 2-goal cushion is now a 1-goal lead. And again, shorthanded for the rest of the game. So the Dogs off the face-off there, the puck in a pinball around the neutral zone. Julian Reese and Mike Bolger, 2 of the 4 checkers, and the penalty killers on for South Carolina. Evan Hoey and Duncan Hickman, the other 2 on defense. So back out now of the Dogs zone. They'll bring this one forward over the red line, try to stretch this one out wide, and delayed offsides waved off, so Evan Hoey behind his own net rifles this one out in front. It's knocked down, though. Some solid hand-eye. Duncan Hickman slides. A battle in front of the net. Hoey backhands this one free. He kicks it up to his stick, and he can't get it out, though. It's held into the blue line. Julian Reese dumps the defenseman. Down on the ice, Jacob Solaski. He got run over by the freight train wearing number 23. And now at the red line, the Dogs backhand this one back in. Inside 2 minutes. As the puck taken behind, Duncan Hickman gets hit. And now the loose puck picked up by Bolger. Across the red line, Bolger with Reese. Pulls up, try to send that one through for Julian Reese. It's sticked aside by the goaltender, Spreadbury. Into the far side corner, the Dogs have it. Reese and Bolger got to be careful here. Bolger goes for a line change. Reese still in back playing forechecker. On the ice, Corey Hawkinson. They'll try to stretch it out wide. 1:32 to go here, third period. Georgia trailing by 1. It's 5-4. Santamaria tumbles in front of the Gamecock bench. Joe Collega picks the puck off the wall, tries to send it up the glass. It's shut down there by Jackson Katz. They'll battle for it. A sharp angle shot there goes wide, right from the half wall. It's picked up at the far side point, And Santa Maria runs over Hawkinson, but the Gamecocks get this puck out. A slow roller all the way back down. Picked up behind the goal by Matt Bigda. To the final 60 seconds here. Colin Burke fires that puck back in. It's gloved down by the Dogs. Jackson Katz at center ice. Matt Owen on for South Carolina. On with Corey Hawkinson, Colin Burke, and Joe Collega. Burke taken into the boards there by Curacest. In a sharp angle, they'll put this one out in front from the goal line. Caresti's back down again at the goal line. Jackson Katz, 3 Dogs in behind the Gamecock net. 35 to go. A player tumbles down, play continues. Hawkinson takes the puck away. He's going to send it down towards the empty net, and he scores! Corey Hawkinson, a short-handed empty net goal, gives the Gamecocks a 6-4 lead with 28 seconds to go in the third period. The Dogs had just sent their goaltender to the bench. And Corey Hawkinson from 150 feet in between the face-off circles and the blue line sends that one just a hair inside the left goal post. Gives the Gamecocks a 2-goal lead. That'll send some fans packing. But again, the Dogs have a power play for the rest of regulation. It sounds like they've given Matt Owen the goal, which is not true. Again, we know how that goes. You don't need to hear my dissertation on goal accreditation here. But 28 seconds to go. Georgia's still on the power play. The Gamecocks try to win that faceoff forward in the neutral zone. The official, again, standing on the puck, so the Dogs have it. Ronan Egan couldn't pull the puck out of his skates, and now a 2-goal lead for South Carolina. 16 to go. The Dogs got to get to a quick shot there upstairs. Gormley slides across, makes 2 big saves, and Ronan Egan sends the puck all the way back down the ice. Stopped by the goaltender Spreadbury. He'll drop it off. Inside 5 seconds, the Gamecocks have come into Athens and beat the Dogs for the first time in 5 seasons. South Carolina remains on top in the SEC. They are mobbing Liam Gormley. You don't need to tell these guys how big of a win this is. Handshakes from Alan Sirois to assistant coach John Kochlenberg. A slap on the back. Congratulations all around. South Carolina improves to 12-1-1 this season. Setting club records every night. Outstanding game there in the second and third periods by Liam Gormley, the Gamecocks' biggest penalty killer, and Rob Lawrence gives him a tap on the pads. I think Lawrence owes Gormley at least dinner, maybe pizza for the next week. Has a dangerous play there. Again, that whole exchange at the end, the Gamecocks had a 2-goal lead. Evan Hoey gets a shoulder on the chin right in front of the South Carolina bench with 4 minutes left. Rob Lawrence goes after whoever laid the hit, gets a 5-minute major out of it. So Georgia has 5 minutes of as many goals as they can score till the end of regulation. They score 1, Caleb Santa Maria up over the shoulder of Gormley. But the Gamecocks hang on. Hawkinson has the empty net goal to put it away. And the final score from Athens, South Carolina 6, the University of Georgia 4. Fist bumps from Ben Smith as the Gamecocks come off the ice. A huge win and a huge hurdle to get over. One more game remains in the fall semester as the Gamecocks are greeted with boos as they exit the ice. Georgia Tech tomorrow, as Georgia gives their fans a salute at center ice. They are done until January. But one last ride before South Carolina, before Thanksgiving, awaits for the Gamecocks. And we will have that for you tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Final score from the Classic Center, as you've heard. South Carolina 6, Georgia 4. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for sticking with us the whole way. We hope to see you back here next time tomorrow night as the Gamecocks travel to Atlanta. So this is Dillon Clark saying good night, Carolina, and forever to thee.